So today's actually about scaling our business, and scaling our business can look in multiple different ways. So one of the most effective ways that you can grow your business is not by hiring more people. It's not by spending more money. It's not by going out there and allocating resources that you may or may not have. Some of the agents on this call right now, you're selling more than 50 homes a year. Congratulations. I also know that some agents on this call right now have not sold one, and that's okay. That's okay. So we all have different entry points. We all have different resources. So the thing that is available to every single one of you is what I call our workflow videos. Has anybody heard me use that word before? Has anybody heard workflow videos in the past? Feel free to drop it in the chat.
Evergreen videos. Is that kind of similar to what you're referring to?
They are evergreen. That is an additional adjective to it. They are actually evergreen videos, but it's even more specific than that. That's a great, evergreen videos are also really good. Rose, yes. What's a workflow video, Rose?
Oh, I was thinking about the same thing Ian was saying.
Yeah. No, it's right, but where I'm going with this is a little bit more targeted. So workflow videos, as mentioned in the intro, have allowed me to grow multiple businesses rather quickly without really investing any more resources. I didn't have to run ads to them. I didn't have to do really anything. So workflow videos are videos that I can integrate into my workflow. That's the simplest way that I can say it. Videos that you can integrate into your hiring practices, videos that you can integrate into your lead acquisition, converting people. So I'll give you a very practical example. So your workflow videos for your particular industry, for our particular industry, I'm a real estate agent as well, is helping buyers that you're working with go through that buying process through video as a reinforcement to what you provide them already. And this works the same way for sellers. So a very practical example is making videos that reinforce, that educate, that provide value to your buyers and sellers. So let me stay on the seller side here for a second, because that's the Sellers Mastermind. So once you take let's just say a call comes in. Hey, I want to list my house. It's on 123 Main Street. Fantastic. You're going to do what you're going to do, right? Whether the lead came in through a referral, whether the lead came in through a whatever, wherever you got that lead, wherever you got that business. Again, we're talking about scaling our business, is how we grow without necessarily investing in more capital and resources. So your funnel, you can have multiple ways of acquiring a lead, but once it comes to you, you control the process. You control your roadmap. You control what happens moving forward. If you absolutely make it a must that before you talk about commission, that before you talk about what you're going to do or not do, before you talk about whatever, if your condition, if part of your roadmap is for you to go see that property, then that's your process. So then you go and see the property and then go on with the rest of your, basically what I'm saying is it's pretty standard after that initial intake for you. So you need to define what that process is. So as an example, when a lead comes in, you can have an initial assessment. Is this person willing? Is this person, does it make sense for me to go and look at the property now? Provide a CMA, invest more time in this? Is this effectively, how serious are they? Well, if you do an initial intake that doesn't take more than 15 minutes, you can say all the things that you want to convey in preparing the home seller for your visit or your listing appointment. But after that happens, here's where the workflow video comes in. You introduce a video as a thank you, either by text or by email. We usually do it by email, thanking them for their time, and then also prepping them for what's about to happen. So that's why it's important that you map out what you're even doing in your business, because if you don't know what's going to happen and you're winging it, then you're not going to be able to make that video or be able to fulfill that video all that well. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat if this is making sense, because this is going to work for all the clients that you're getting, but the real superpower is really at the end. And someone needs to remind me on the end, because I'm not working from notes right now. Once, so going through that example, so caller, you got a lead from Zillow as an example. I need to sell my house. Cool. You do the initial assessment or the intake. Takes you 15 minutes. You schedule the appointment. Fantastic. You send them a follow-up. You send it by text, send it by email, send it by whatever. You're sending them a video, letting them know, hey, this is what we expect this is what to expect in the listing presentation. I'd love for the decision maker to be there. Don't worry about cleaning the house, blah, 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 whatever the case may be, right? So by the time you get there, you have a very educated consumer at this point, a very educated homeowner as to your, what you expect from them and what they can expect from you. Once you go through the listing presentation, a way that you stand out, if you're the individual, if you're the agent that doesn't get the signature right away, doesn't matter. Some people will not leave the house until they get the listing agreement signed. Some people are going to email it later. Whatever your process is, I respect it. I just want you to integrate the workflow videos. That's what's important for me today. Once you leave that house, if you executed the listing agreement, you reinforce everything that you just did through a listing presentation. You reinforce that through another video, another workflow video, a video that you integrate into your workflow. Notice that this is something that you're going to do throughout your work already. What we're doing is we're just taking the time to actually record these and sending them out, right? So after you leave that house, you have the listing agreement, you're super excited, everything is great. Now you reinforce it with another workflow video. It's like, hey, you're not addressing these individual one by one. This is replicatable. This can be you can send the same one to every single one. That's actually the superpower. That's what makes it scalable. And you map out what's going to happen next, right? Hey, these are the things to expect. The photography is going to come. Make sure that you have cleaned up at this point in time. When we're showing the home, make sure that you're not there. All the things that you're going to cover in your listing presentation already, because what that's going to happen is going to reinforce the message. But beyond that, is going to reinforce, it's going to educate your consumers. So a lot of the questions that they'll either text you or email you or call you about, they're no longer going to come because they have the answers. So you're saving yourself some time there as well. And you continue doing this over and over again until you get to the end of the journey, right? Until you sell the house. Now that we've sold your house, don't forget to forward your mail. Don't forget to X, Y, and Z. Don't forget to X, whatever it is that you share with your home sellers after you have sold the property. That's what you reinforce in that video. Does that make sense? Now you can do this in one video. I don't encourage you to do this in one video, but you can do all of this in one video and then just send out timestamps. So YouTube has actually made it super simple. Well, I guess I'll just address the YouTube part of it. What makes this an even greater win for you, outside of you providing more value to your client, outside of you saving yourself a lot of time so you don't have to be super repetitive, outside of all of that, is you're able to put these videos onto YouTube, make them public, and educate the general public. Because these questions are happening. What do I need to take to closing? Well, somebody that's searching for that, unfortunately, they're already under contract. So you never had that client to begin with, but they won't reach out to you. It's something that you would provide value with. But there's some people that are so proactive that research this information ahead of time that have no clue, either because they've been thinking about selling or just need a reminder when they did sell in the past, or they were informed by another agent, X, Y, and Z is going to happen, but they have no clue what the answer is. Everyone's going to Google first. People's intentions manifest themselves in their thoughts first, go immediately to Google, go to YouTube, and then their spouse finds out, hey, I want a divorce, right? So first you're thinking, then you go to Google, how do I get a divorce so I don't lose my shirt? And then the spouse finds out, hey, it's over. Now I make a joke out of it, but Rose, you're laughing. It's true.
I have one of my clients say, between me and you, I'm out of here.
I'm telling you. Now I know I'm making light of it, but like it's so true. And anything that happens, anything that you're doing, you're thinking about it, you Google, you go to YouTube, and then ultimately whatever action you're going to take, you're going to take. Right? Oh, I gotta cut fertilize my lawn. Well, I don't know how to do that. I'm going to Google best fertilizer, see some reviews, and then boom, I'm going to go fertilize my lawn. Right? So this is 10, 15. Any questions on that? We can elaborate further, but I would much rather just you get the full point. I don't want to ramble. Workflow videos, introduce them into your workflow. Not only are you providing value for your clients, but you're also making that public. You have content that you can share on your emails. You can send those emails out to your email list. Somebody was mentioning, Miss Reyes mentioned being on my email list. That's what I do all the time. You can send it. You can create blogs around this, and it works. And she's here. Thanks for being here. You can provide these videos on YouTube so the general public can see them. It's a way for you to build authority, provide value, create a brand, more importantly, and ultimately, not only service who you have, but also it brings you more business, right? So that is what I wanted to say about that. Any questions on that? And as before I forget, so we can network a little bit more, feel free to drop the city and the state that you practice out of, because you're going to be surprised how many neighbors you have. All right. So here, the timing of this workflow video training today is perfect. Just launched the seller lead campaign with a new team member, and we'll definitely be building out. I love that. We have a Zoom user, so more like a full cycle of a buyer seller journey when they're working with you. 100%. So what you're going to find is how whatever your process is, that's what you're doing, right? So it can be, I don't suggest one video, but I understand that everyone has different opinions on that. You do one video, you can do 20 videos, whatever you find important that's going to help your client and ultimately bring you more.